I didn't expect tears when the truth came out. I didn't expect apologies or explanations either. And I was right. Not a single one came. She just stood there, still and wordless, like the weight of her guilt had cemented her in place. There was no trembling, no stammering, not even a flicker of shame in her voice when she finally spoke. Just a cold, empty line. It didn't mean anything. And that was the moment something broke inside me. Because if something meaningless could rip apart the life we built together, maybe I never meant anything to her in the first place. Her name was Claire. We'd spent 4 years together, real years, not some fleeting passion or weekend romance. We had a life, shared bills, made grocery runs on sleepy Sundays, held each other at family funerals, laughed on road trips, argued over TV shows. We had dreams that lived in our routines, not just in late-night whispers. And still, somehow, it all slipped through the cracks. I can't pinpoint exactly when things started to shift. That's how betrayal works. Sometimes it doesn't knock the door down. It leaks in slowly, quietly, until you're drowning in it before you even realize something's wrong. She began staying up later, always staring into her phone. Said it was work. The kisses when she came home became rare, then vanished. She started putting more thought into how she looked. When she wasn't around me, she smiled more, but never at me. And whenever I asked about it, the answer was always the same. You're overthinking. And I wanted to believe her. I needed to, because accepting the truth meant accepting that our life was falling apart. And I wasn't ready for that. But the truth doesn't stay hidden forever. It always finds a way through. I discovered everything by accident. Just a regular night. She had left her phone on the counter, unlocked. I picked it up to help her set her morning alarm. And then I saw it. A conversation she never meant me to see. Words that cut deeper than anything I thought I could handle. Last night was everything. I can't stop thinking about your touch. I miss falling asleep next to you. He called her baby. She called him mine. I didn't throw the phone. I didn't shout or wake her up. I just stood there, phone in hand, staring at proof that the person I loved was never really mine in the way I believed. Then I walked to the bedroom, quietly got dressed, packed a small overnight bag, and left without a word. No notes, no breakdown, no final plea. She'd already made her decision. I crashed at my friend Marcus' place that night. When I told him what happened, he didn't speak, just handed me a beer and sat next to me. That silence meant more than 1,000 words. But later, alone in the dark, the weight of it all came crashing down. Not just a betrayal, not just a heartbreak, but the way I didn't recognize myself anymore. I felt used up, gutted, like I had been hollowed out, and didn't even notice until she was gone. People say betrayal leaves you angry. That wasn't true for me. It left me numb. I walked through the days like a shadow. I went back to work. I smiled when I had to, but inside, everything was ashes. I looked okay from the outside, but inside there was nothing left to burn. Eventually, I tried dating again. Met good people. People who deserved more than I could give. But every time someone started to get close, I froze. Pulled away. Because once your trust is shattered, rebuilding it feels like stacking broken glass. And then, almost a year later, she showed up. I had just gotten home, covered in dust from a job site, tired, unlocking my front door. When a car pulled up behind me, I turned, and there she was, Claire, the woman I once swore I'd grow old with. She stepped out slowly, looking thinner, worn out. She held a piece of paper in her hands, crumpled like it had been read 100 times. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice soft. I didn't move, didn't answer. Because what do you say to someone who left you in pieces? She held out the letter. "I wrote this months ago," she said. "I just didn't know how to face you." There was nothing confident or calculated about her anymore. She looked hollowed out by the weight of her own decisions. I let her in, not because I wanted to fix anything, but because I wanted to hear what she'd been too scared to say back then. She sat down on the same couch where we once talked about baby names, where we planned vacations, where I once kissed her forehead and believed I was home. And then she cried. Not soft tears, not performative guilt. Real, raw sobbing. Her shoulders shook. Her words fell out in fragments. He didn't love me, she said. It was exciting, that's all, but it wasn't real. And when it ended, I realized what I destroyed. I know I broke something good, she continued, voice trembling. I don't expect you to take me back. I just needed you to know that I'm sorry. I wake up every day with it. She looked up at me with tear-streaked cheeks, searching for something in my face. Forgiveness, maybe a spark of hope. And for a brief second, I remembered how she used to fall asleep against me. The warmth of her body curled beside mine. The way she used to whisper, "I love you," like it was the most natural thing in the world. But that second passed because I also remember what it felt like to read those messages. I remember what it felt like to walk away from the ruins of the life I thought we were building. I stood up and looked her in the eyes. Calm, clear. I've spent a year trying to find myself again, learning how to sleep at night without wondering if I was being lied to, learning to breathe without you. You don't get to return after fire and expect the ashes to turn back into a home. She nodded slowly. There was no begging, just silent pain. But it didn't belong to me anymore. She left without another word. Quiet, like I had a year before. No slammed doors, no final plea. And when the door clicked shut behind her, I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just stood still. For the first time in a long while, I felt whole. Not healed completely, but whole enough to know I didn't owe her another chance. I didn't walk away because I stopped loving her. I walked away because I finally remember how to love myself. And if you've ever had to shut a door on someone who broke you, someone who only realized what they lost once it was too late, don't feel guilty for missing them, but know your strength lies in not letting them hurt you twice.